Notes 1-2, evaluate expressions. The directions say evaluate each expression if x equals -2, y equals 8, and z equals a -3. So keep in mind what we're doing here is replacing numbers for the variables in the problems. So let's look at number 1. You've got -15 plus, and be really careful here. In fact, I'm going to use 2 parentheses because this means the opposite of whatever x is, which is a -2. And then I would show another parentheses. Plus y is 8. That gives us -15. 2 negatives make a positive, so this is +2 plus 8. If you need to, kind of slow down and review some of your integer rules, because here we're just using our order of operation. You're subtracting opposites, taking the sign of the larger number. So your final answer for this would be a -5. So again, you could actually even put that in a calculator, but don't always use that for a crutch. Make sure you know your integer rules. Okay, these, number 2, you're taking numbers to a power. So the first one you have -2 to the power of 3 plus, this is 4 times the -2 to the power of 2. So if you're looking at this expanded, that's -2 times -2 times -2 plus 4 times -2 times -2. Okay, again, remembering your integer rules of multiplication, this 2 negatives make a positive, +4 times a -2 plus, you've got 4 times, and I'll keep this in parentheses since it's multiplication. 2 negatives again make a +4. This is multiplication, so this becomes a -8 plus 16, which gives us, I'll put the answer over here, an 8. Let's go ahead and box our answers. Go back over and box this one. Okay, number 3. This one you're going to, again, remember that numerator separated by a denominator by that bar means to divide. So we're going to keep it in that format for now. This is 3 times a -2 plus 2 times 8, all divided by -2. Okay, doing your multiplication of integers, this becomes -6 plus 16 divided by -2. Leave this as a fraction. Adding the top opposites would be a +10 divided by -2, which gives you -5. Okay, number 4. Just expand this out. I think the easiest way is to use, when you're multiplying, parentheses. 4 times a -2 minus 8 minus 3, we'll leave the parentheses, -2, -3. Order of operation, you do the multiplication before any of this subtraction. So these two give you a -8 minus 8 minus 3 times 6, because you're going to be multiplying that -2 and -3. So this is a lot of 8s, -8 minus 8 minus 18. This leaves you with an answer of -34. Okay, number 5. You've got several parentheses here. You're going to put in a 6, and because our x is negative, I'm going to use another parentheses. It just helps us know when we're multiplying versus adding or subtracting. Divided by 8. Order of operation has me multiply this first before adding. This would be a negative 12 plus the 6 divided by the 8. Because we had a parentheses to start with, I'm going to emphasize this with the red. We have to keep this parentheses because if you go back to the beginning, this was there to start with, and if I take it away, then I'm supposed to have divided the 6 divided by 8 first before adding a negative 12. But because of that parentheses, the operation that needs to be performed first would be the negative 12 plus the 6, only because parentheses go in order of operation before the division. So just remember this, divided by 8. Now let's write that as a fraction. That would be a negative 6 over 8. You think of factors that would go into both, which would be 2. So if I divide by 2, I would get 3/4, negative 3/4. Number 6. This one has brackets. So let's keep the bracket again because we'll have to remember it would have to be doing everything in the operation, performing that before subtracting that y. So I'm going to keep this in a bracket. 10 minus, and keep this in parentheses. Because I have a negative x, that's going to stay in another set of parentheses, divided by 2. So lots of parentheses and brackets, but if you'll write it out carefully, you won't miss what you're supposed to be performing step by step. 10 minus, I'm going to keep this in the parentheses because this operation of division is going to be done before subtraction. So notice carefully how we're writing out this problem. So here 10 is subtracted from the division of negative 8 and 2, which is a negative 4, minus 8. 2 negatives, I'll emphasize this again too. If this is a minus, that's added. Order of operation tells me to add the opposite. So that ends up giving us 14 minus 8. So your final answer for this one is positive 6. Now go try some on your own.